Hello and good morning or afternoon to everybody on the call. Thank you for joining us and welcome to today's webcast. My name is Carrie Lawson. I'm the Partner Marketing Representative here at Viewpoint. I've been with Viewpoint for almost 9 years, and one of the things I love about my role is being able to help our customers like you connect with our various partners to find out if and how our partner solutions might be able to help your business be more successful. Today, Steve Rasmussen and Eric Wilhite over at TechInsight is going to show you how easy it is to solve common scalehouse problems by optimizing your operations with a ticketing and business management tool. They'll also be going over the integration with Spectrum and Vista because the integration really helps take the headache out of the billing process. With TechInsight being a Viewpoint strategic partner, we're really able to work closely with each other to ensure the integration is tight and seamless. And it's really been such a pleasure working with the folks over there, mainly due to how passionate and knowledgeable they are. You'll also get to see Fastway 10 firsthand in a live demo. However, if you would like to coordinate a free custom demo personalized for your company, there will be contact info provided so you can reach out. We will review a few case studies, and we also have a special guest speaker, but I will let Steve introduce our guest a bit later. We should have enough time for an open Q&A session at the end, which brings me to a bit of light housekeeping. All attendee microphones will be disabled throughout the presentation so we can keep things organized and optimize our limited time together. You don't have to wait until the end of the presentation to submit your questions. Please feel free to submit your questions throughout by going to the bottom of your Zoom window and clicking on the Q&A button. But please keep in mind, we will be holding off on answering any questions until the end. If you still have questions after the webinar is concluded, you can always reach out to TechInsight. So without further delay, I'm going to go ahead and pass this on over to Steve so we can get started.
All right, thanks, Carrie. As Carrie mentioned, we're excited about this new Viewpoint partnership. This is a new one for us. In the past, we've been a Dexter Cheney partner for the past 6 to 7 years, but now with our Fastway Scale software, we're coming on board on the scale side with both Vista and Spectrum. So we're excited to bring that to the marketplace and hopefully solve some of the Viewpoint customer problems and make it easier for people that are doing material sales. So with that being said, I'll kind of get rolling here. And what I kind of want to talk about is when we started down the path of redesigning our scale software, we looked at the marketplace and we knew we wanted to conquer some of the common scalehouse challenges here. So as I go through these slides, we'll just kind of talk about each one and how Fastway can solve many of those problems and streamline your business processes when it comes to material sales. So one of the things that we saw is any lack of centralized management of the scale systems, and many of them operate independent of one another, where you're having to set up multiple copies across multiple scale houses, set up customers twice, products twice. We wanted to centrally manage that data and push the data down to the scale house. So second, we also felt it was important for getting real-time data out of your scale house. So we wanted to provide operational information to your ops guys, your customers, your haulers in a rich web-based format or mobile format, and allow you direct access to what's going on at the scale house in real time. Third, we wanted to eliminate the expensive setup of and complicated IT infrastructure that required to maintain scale systems. So we wanted to eliminate having to purchase those SQL licenses, installing servers, remove that stuff out of the scale house and push it back up to the cloud so you can focus on your business and solve your problems versus maintaining IT. Fourth, we wanted to we saw a limitation on the accounting integration. We know we can send data up to Vista, Spectrum via file-based uploads, but more than just ticket data going up, we wanted to streamline the setup. We wanted to have bi-directional accounting integration. So, and then finally, we still see a lot of outdated software operating on legacy systems in the scale house. We still see Windows XP, Windows 7. We see kind of like the pictures on the right, we see a mess in a lot of scale houses still. So we want to be able to bring your operation systems up to the same par and standard that your back office and admin financial staff are using. So with that said, we'll kind of talk about, how does Fastway solve these problems? So the first thing we did is we built the platform designed right from the get-go as a web-based, centralized web portal to consolidate all your data from all your scale locations. So whether you're using one site or you have 100 sites, all the data is collected back into one central database. There's only one database to maintain. So that was the first thing we tried to solve. Second, we wanted to make that data readily accessible in real time from any device, any browser, any mobile device, so that your customers can, from an operation standpoint, know what's going on. Third, as I mentioned before, rather than set up multiple databases to support all your scale houses, we wanted to do that with one simple cloud database that eliminates the complex IT infrastructure and eliminates the cost, the IT cost, the backups, the things that are tough to do in a remote, dirty material sales operation. Four, we wanted to have complete bi-directional integration with Vista and Spectrum. So not only do we handle the tickets from a billing and job requisition standpoint, but we wanted to make it easy to set up your customer information, your product information, your job and your phase data, and bring that directly into our web portal and eliminate having to set things up twice, both in the accounting side and the scale side. And then third, we want to make this, we want to build this on a modern tech platform. So it's designed for Windows 10, operates on new modern mobile devices. So rather than running on old Windows 7 or XP, we wanted to say, hey, listen, the world's changing, tech is changing. Let's build this on a modern platform, design how modern applications are built. So with that being said, I'm going to hand it over to Eric Wilhite and let him kind of do a live demo, give you a brief overview of the platform. By no means can he go into a complete demonstration of the product. You can call us personally if you want more detail, but he can give you a high-level overview of how the platform is designed and operates. Go ahead, Eric.
All righty. Thanks, Steve. So before I hop straight to the software here, I kind of wanted to show you just a brief overview of the architecture and some of the pieces that we'll be looking at. So if you take a look at this graphic, starting on the left, so you'll see the individual scale house PCs. So those are the devices that are running at your actual material locations. And you'll see that is communicating both ways with the Fastway web portal. So the web portal is where you can centrally manage, kind of like Steve was saying, and push down to all of those locations. So really cuts down the amount of work you're doing with that central management there. And then from the web portal, you'll see bi-directional integration with Vista and Spectrum. So when you're billing out your tickets, which we'll kind of take a look at today, that's pushing from the portal into Vista and Spectrum. And then on the flip side, you've got all of your customer records, your job setup, your phases. Those are all able to be pulled into the web portal via that integration. So with that kind of in mind, let's actually hop out of here and take a look at the actual software. So what I'm going to pull up first, this is our scale application. So this is what's running at the material point of sales, any pits or quarries that you've got. So I'm landing on the ticketing screen here, and if we kind of get oriented, you'll see some icons over here to the left. So we land on the ticketing screen. Of course, you can do any truck management with this application. You can view any relevant customer or order records for this location, as well as run some reports and look at history. But for now, let's just kind of focus on this ticketing screen. So if we look down at the very bottom right here, you can see we're actually hooked up into a scale. So what I'm going to do is kind of pretend like a truck is pulling up on the scale here and print a ticket for him. So we just follow the options that we've got listed. I want to go grab a truck called Eric. So we'll pretend that Eric's sitting on the scale here. And then Eric is radioing in. He says, "Hey man, I'm going to the Alcoa job." So I can search. You can see I can search any of these customer or order records over to the right here. And so when he tells me I'm going to the Alcoa job, I can quickly see, okay, here are my jobs that I've already got set up. So these have pulled from the web portal, and I can see there's my Alcoa highway job for Tennessee Asphalt. And when you click on that, you can see this is an internal job. So I've got a job rec that's set up. You can see the job number there, as well as the phase and cost type information. And so once you've got these things selected, it's just a matter of grabbing the weight off the scale. So I just hit enter in that box there. And then last thing before we print the ticket, you'll see a kind of a grainy image here because this is set up in our break room. You can see an image of a truck there. So we can actually print images of trucks on the scale or the back of the truck right on the ticket. So that's captured, as well as any signatures. So I can sign with my mouse here. Don't judge my mouse handwriting too harshly. All right, and so from there, it's just a matter of printing the ticket. So I'll fire the ticket off to the printer. You can see we're actually using a format here that prints the image and the signatures directly on the ticket. Now those are optional. So if you choose not to do any imagery or signature capture, then that's perfectly fine as well. Then of course any of these tickets can be customized with logos, fields taken off, fields put on, customized to your spec. So you can kind of see how quick and easy it was to fire that ticket off there. And as the day goes on, it gets even easier. So you'll see as I printed that off, that's created a ticket history listing over here to the right. So if that guy's coming back around for a repeat load, so if he's on the same job, I can just click on him, hit enter, and fire off to print in a matter of maybe 2 seconds. So those repeat jobs are really quick and easy to get that truck moving. So one thing to note here while we're staying here at the local scale house is when I click print, you'll notice for just a second there's a little red notification at the bottom center of the screen. So when I click print, you'll notice it says 1 unseeked record, and then that immediately goes away. What that's telling you is that record has already gone up to the web portal. So if I minimize this, let's actually look at that record from the web dashboard. So you can see I just pulled up a browser. So anywhere that you have internet access, you can actually see that ticket record. So back at the office, your office personnel can have access, or if you're kicked back at Starbucks wanting to monitor your production for the day, you can easily do that. So if I take a look at my dashboard here, I can see here are the loads that Eric truck has run. He's run 11 loads today. Let's actually drill in and look at each of those loads. So if I hop to that screen, you can see each and every ticket detail for that truck. And this is all occurring in real time, and you can see it for all of your locations. So obviously we're just set up with one test location now, but you can see up at the top here, I could slice down for any region or any location to see just those tickets. So if we look at this current location, you can see all the tickets for the day. And as those records are flowing up, one of the really nice things is you can immediately have access to those hard copies. So if I pull up one of these tickets here, you can see that ticket immediately up on the web. So here's a carbon copy of what was handed to that truck driver as he pulled off. And that's all sending up in real time with those ticket records. So a couple other things to kind of be aware of on this screen is there's really a lot of power behind the scenes as well. So you can actually drill in and make your own reports from this screen to get your data out of Fastway and make it useful. So, say I want to go out and see my tickets for the month, and I just quickly want to send it to Excel and look at who's actually been hauling. So I'm using third-party contractors, and I want to see who's hauling out of my pit. Well, you can see here, if I group by hauler, just by dragging it right there, now I've started to kind of create a pivot table or a report to get that information. So I can take that, and at the top right of this grid here, you'll see export to Excel. So I've just created a hauler detail report just in a matter of seconds there. So really nice to have, and makes it really easy to get your data out. So the last thing I'll touch on before I kind of leave this screen here is you can actually give your customers and your haulers access to log on and see just their data. So if we take a look and we say that Tennessee Asphalt company that we were printing tickets for, we could give Tommy at Tennessee Asphalt a login, and Tommy could hop on, and of course he wouldn't be able to see anybody else's tickets. He wouldn't be able to see any company specific or sensitive information like pricing or anything like that. But he can hop on and monitor his company's production to see how many loads that have been hauled to their jobs, and they can also hop on and get any hard copies of their tickets as well. So just gives a little more functionality and allows your customers to hop on and kind of take control of their data. Okay, and then so from here, I'm going to hop over to the billing module, and kind of as I'm doing that, I'll point out you'll see a lot of modules up here at the top. Obviously, we're pressed for time, so can't drill into each and every one of these, but be happy to go into more detail with on a personalized demo. So on this new billing screen, this is where I can take those tickets that we've just created and actually batch them up and push them into Vista or into Spectrum. So you can kind of see some of the options up at the top. I'm just going to go grab today's tickets and build these out. So you can see that 2 invoices are going to be created. So you can see both of these items here, and you can drill into each one of these just one last time to ensure that everything is set up correctly. So if I take a look, you can see that, look at this Tennessee Asphalt job. They're set up for 1/4-inch pea gravel, and they actually have a unit price of $8. Well, on this one last check, kind of before I send it into Vista, I can just be sure and say, hey, these guys were supposed to be quoted at $7. So I can update that here. And now these records are going to be billed properly. It's also going to go back into that order in Fastway and update that pricing moving forward as well. So it kind of gives you that assurance that things are going to be billed into Spectrum and Vista the way they should be. So I'm going to take these tickets and I'm just going to create a batch. We'll call it VP Demo. And I'm going to assign those to that batch. And you'll notice they immediately leave this screen. That's to ensure that they can never be rebuilt. So I can't query those same tickets out again. To see them, I want to go to my billing history. And so here you'll see this batch that we just created, this VP Demo 3. And then from this billing history screen, this is where you've got some options depending on your system. So with Vista, you'll see the export to Vista button there. We're going to push into material sales. And then with Spectrum, we can push to AR or job costs, or we can go through material management. So you've got that option to produce invoices through Vista or Spectrum. We can also produce invoices and distribute invoices through Fastway as well. So you'll see the print and email buttons there. We can actually, if I click on one of these, we can actually produce copies of invoices to be distributed directly from Fastway. So you'll see here's an invoice for those couple loads that we just created with ticket level detail. Now that's totally optional. You can of course bill an invoice directly through Spectrum or Vista, but the capability is there, and it's extremely easy to use. Okay, so from there, I think one last thing to notice is our resources here. So I know I talked about kind of the bi-directional integration with Vista and with Spectrum. So the nice thing is there's no real double entry. So your customers, your products, tax codes, any of your internal job recs, all of that information can be brought over just in really one click. So once it's brought into this web portal, that allows you to push those down to the scale locations with just a lot of ease. So we can drill into some of those things on a personalized demo if you'd like, but just really nice to have that integration in place. With that, I'm going to pass it back over to Steve, and he can talk to you a little more about what to do with that data now that we've got it in the system.
Thanks, Eric. So one of the things I want to just briefly hit on is one of the advantages of being in this new tech environment that we operate under is we can real easily start building some nice visual data analytics with the information. So what I want to do is just kind of show you real quick, because I know I don't want to take up too much time, but now that we've got all this data we're collecting, well, now we want to say, okay, I want my executives to know what's going on. I want to see what's happening at the scale house. I want to see what my customer sales are. So what we've done without, our customers having to put in any expensive analytics platform servers, we've embedded cloud-based analytics right into the web browser, right into our application. So now we can do deep dives to tell customer stories, to identify trends going on across their various material sales. So I'm just diving into this is an orders report that just kind of breaks down customer data, where it breaks down what did my customers buy. As you can see, this stuff is very dynamic, so I can look specifically at a product. I got a nice little scatter plot here to show me. If I hover over, I can kind of see what those sales are. So real quick and easy, we've built analytics right into the platform without having to do any additional setup on the customer side. So with that said, I'm going to go back and let's talk about kind of the real world, and specifically talk about some case studies where we've implemented at a Spectrum customer and a Vista customer. So one of our first customers to talk about is Fraser Valley Aggregates. They were a plant up in British Columbia, Canada. They had 9 scale locations, or they actually have more than that, but they started out at all their physical scale sites. They had a heavily customized old legacy scale software that was no longer supported. They previously had tried to replace the system a couple times and it failed, and they contacted us back in the spring, and we were able, within a couple days, go out there, set up all their systems, integrate it into the web portal, and then push out all the data to each of those 9 pit locations in just a few days. And then now they're running on a daily basis, and they average 700 plus tickets, 22,000 tons per day, and very happy with the system. So, good success story on the Spectrum side. So on the Vista side, we're fortunate that I've got BJ Lusk on the line here, but just to give a little background, I'm going to let BJ talk specifically and kind of give you kind of firsthand knowledge from his perspective, how things went. But Whitaker was a ScaleSmarts customer. They were looking to replace that platform because of the end of life, the Viewpoint's going through on that, and they evaluated the marketplace. They looked at JWS, Apex, and AWS this, and eventually chose us after we did a couple personalized demos, and brought on three of their quarries, and then also a mobile pit location that uses our mobile Android app and a mobile thermal direct printer like you see at the car rental places to print tickets. So with that said, I'm going to let BJ kind of go ahead and talk. He's on the line, and he can give you a few minutes, and just if you want, feel free to give him background. BJ, go ahead.
Yeah, so we obviously had ScaleSmarts, like Steve said, and we knew that was coming to an end soon. And then one day I get a call very early in the morning that the computer she can't get into ScaleSmarts anymore, and we needed a new activation key, and so we couldn't get back into ScaleSmarts. So basically, we were just having to hand do tickets. And so at that point, we very quickly started looking and found Fastway. I knew that I wanted Fastway before we even looked at anybody else, but we did our due diligence and looked at other companies. And to me, all the other companies looked like a lateral move rather than an upgrade. And Fastway just made sense for us. Just like Steve was saying earlier, you know, the being on Windows 10 and just how modern it is with the way technology is moving. It was a no-brainer for us. So we made the switch, and the transition was a very smooth process. Some of the things that we really liked about it was the cloud-based, the fact that anytime, anywhere, you can access information. We chose to make it to where I pretty much do everything here at the office, setting up jobs, setting up orders, and things like that. Just to take it out of the scale house's hands, just so they've got a lot going on with all the trucks that they have coming in and out. So if they ever need anything set up, they can just call me. And the good thing about it being cloud-based is I can do the order setup from anywhere. If they call me before I get to work, I can get on my computer at home, or if I'm driving down the road, I can pull over and whip out my phone or my tablet, and I can get on there and I can set up whatever they need set up. Also, too, with ScaleSmarts, you know, the way it was for us is the girls at the scale houses could set up jobs. So we had trouble with one of them set up a job one way and another one set up a job another way. And maybe it was the exact same jobs. We're getting invoices for the same job that say two different things. And that was really confusing to the customers. And with this, it's just, one centralized thing. I control it all. And it's much more streamlined to that. Editing tickets, it's very simple to edit tickets. They can call me and say, hey, I messed up on a ticket yesterday, I didn't realize it. I can go in there and edit that ticket. And the thing with ScaleSmarts, we would have to edit a ticket. We really couldn't edit a ticket after they had transferred it up to the Viewpoint. And that would just mess things up with customers. And so now we can edit tickets, and we can keep the number sequence the same as far as the load order, and things are much smoother there. Invoicing, it's made invoicing, I do all the invoicing. It's made that so much easier. Whereas before, if we had a problem with a price on a ticket, I know Eric showed you how you could change the price real simple. Before, I was having to change each individual ticket price. So if we had 30 tickets that had price errors on it, I had to go in there and manually enter 30 different price changes. Whereas on this one, I just go in there and one time on that order, it's fixed, and it's fixed forever. So I love that aspect of it. We are eventually going to switch over. Right now, we invoice still with Vista. We are eventually going to switch over and start invoicing out of Fastway. I think at the first of the year, we're going to do that. We'll have the ability to email invoices. Right now, we send copies of tickets to all of our customers with their invoices. We're going to get out of that and have everybody have access to the portal to where if they need a ticket, they can log on there. Another thing that we really like is how trucks can be shared amongst the different plants. With ScaleSmarts, we didn't have the ability to do that. So we ran into a situation to where, we'd have truck A1 at one plant was one truck, and then truck A1 in another plant was another truck. So we ran into all kinds of confusion there, and it made just life difficult. But it's just, Fastway has made things so much easier for us. I can't say enough how simple it is to use. There were a couple of times when maybe it was something I forgot we went over, or we didn't go over, I don't know, on a setup. And I was able to go in there and just kind of basically figure it out on my own, because it was just that easy to use. Eric came down, and within 3 days we were set up and ready to go. We had some things that we had to look at. We had our ticket file that we had to look at and make sure everything was in the right place, in the right column. We spent a little bit of time on that, but it was once we got it all fixed, it was a simple process. We've had a couple of things that we've had to work through, a couple of days after we got going, just a few insecurities on our part that we called, and they were really good and really helpful to get us set on the right way. And, to me, I don't know of any other system out there like this, and I don't know really honestly why anybody else would go with any other system other than Fastway. It's just ahead of everybody else so much.
Well, I appreciate that, BJ. Thanks for the plug. So, Whitaker's been real good to work with. That really, BJ really was, stepped up and helped us on the implementation, and that makes a difference too. So we appreciate that, and we look forward to ongoing relationships there. So, well, I don't want to take too much time. I want to kind of wrap up here and answer any questions that maybe you have, but just kind of a follow up, just to let you guys know, we because of the way we're built, we continuously design and feature develop. Typically every other month, we're pushing updates out to the web. Because of that, we can throw new versions. Our Scale app gets and our mobile apps get updated through the stores. So there's nothing that the end user really has to do, and they're automatic updates. So unlike the traditional Windows software that's out there, it's very future developed. We have some new Viewpoint integration, as BJ mentioned. We're coming out with direct AR billing for both Vista and Spectrum. We already supported on the Spectrum side. We're adding some new capabilities. We look forward to, we're in the development of a new trucker dispatching and tracking module for our haulers and bulk material haulers. So we're excited about that. And then we're doing some things. We know there's a lot of asphalt plant guys. We're trying to build some of that integration with those third-party control systems. We've been working on some of the things there. So way down the road, there may be some integration on the automation systems, so we can do some more of that sophisticated integration. So with that said, I'm going to open it up to any questions. Feel free to ask questions at the bottom of the screen, type them in, and either Eric or myself will try to answer as best we can.
Looks like we've already got a couple questions in here, so let's just kind of pick from the list. So question from Mike is asking if Fastway will work offline, as well as if barcodes can be printed on the ticket. So yes and yes. So the Fastway Scale application is designed to operate offline for really any period of time. Now, the one caveat being that eventually those tickets need to be synced up. So the Scale application will function offline just the same as you saw in that demo that we had earlier. You can print tickets, manage any of your trucks, go print on any of those orders, and then once you reconnect, all of those tickets will sync up to the web. And then for barcodes being on the tickets, yep, we can absolutely print barcodes. We can embed whatever we need to in those barcodes. So either a barcode, a typical linear barcode, or a QR code, either one.
And I'll add to that about the barcodes. We have a mobile app for that works to do receiving on a job site, so we can actually scan those barcodes and upload the proof of delivery. So if you want to collect information and ticket data on the back end when loads get delivered, we can handle that.
Yep. And then let's see, a question from Daryl. So Daryl's on a competing system and is wondering what particularly would entice someone to switch to us. Steve, I think you want to take that.
Yeah, I mean, you know, we do a lot of demos, and we're seeing a lot of customers come our way from competing systems. I mean, we're seeing, you know, a lot of Apex customers and AWSys customers. People just, you know, see the benefits of operating through the browser and moving this data to the cloud, taking advantage of the ease and the headache of having to manage those local databases, those local servers. So, you know, typically it's easier for us to support than you know, anybody that's delivering on-premise software, because you know, it just, there's so many more benefits in this cloud environment that you know, the whole kind of tech world is moving that direction. So you know, we can talk about that in you know, more and more detail. There's all kinds of things you can say about that. But,
All right, and then let's just pick one more out, and then I think we'll wrap up. So Debbie is asking if it needs to be cloud-based to use the software. So it looks like, you know, the couple pieces at play here. So the Scale software itself is not cloud-based. So that is communicating with the cloud, but it's a local installation. I think that's one thing that's important to keep in mind. The real benefit to having your data in the cloud is, you know, if you have a PC that crashes, if you have any internal network issues, your data is always secure and backed up. You know, we've seen a lot of customers who've had a bad storm blow through, and you know, if they were on a competing platform and it wiped out their PC, you know, that data's gone. Whereas, you know, with Fastway, that's immediately backed up and secure. Let's see. Let's do one more here. So we've got Don is asking, does the system record incoming material as well as the finished product going out? So yep, we can absolutely capture incoming material that's inbound. So really the weighing solution is just kind of reversed. So as you ticket, you'll capture the heavyweight coming in, and then as they go out, you'll grab their lightweight. And we can go over that with you, Don, in a demo if you'd like, but really quick and easy process, not much different than the ticket that we printed in the demo that you saw there. And then Matt's asking, and this will be, I think, our last one, and then we'll kind of close out. Does this software work with IP scale heads, and is a PC needed for each scale? So Fastway one instance of Fastway can actually connect with up to 6 scales. So if you've got, you know, a lot of times folks will have scales on either side of their scale house, we can connect, you know, via IP to both of those scales. So just, you know, when you're going through the ticketing process, then it just gives you the option of which scale that you want to read the weight from. And Matt, that's again something that, you know, is quick and easy to toggle on, and be happy to show you in a demo.
Yeah, Matt, we support both serial-based scale heads, IP-based scale heads. We support RFID readers, you know, video capture, signature pads. So quite a bit of capability on the integration side. So with that said, you know, appreciate everybody for coming on this webinar. I know we went a little bit long, but you know, if anybody wants to reach out to us to do a more personalized demo, feel free to hit us on our website or give us a call. We'll be at Collaborate next month, so feel free to drop by our booth too, and we can give you a personal demo during that. So with that said, I'm not sure, Carrie, if you want to wrap up or.
Thank you everybody for joining us. Thank you to the folks over at Tech Insight. This was a great event. We will be sending out a follow-up with a link to the recording, so you can keep an eye out for that. Have a wonderful day, everybody.